Okay, so all I'm going to do now is figure out where this book will sit, and I want a little bit up, a little bit of a edge around, all the way around the signature at the top and the bottom. So that would mean I would be placing that in the same spot. This is my little template that I'm making. I'm going to make that be the top. I've just come down and I'm going to turn this piece at the bottom, but the other way. So have I got enough here? A little bit. So I'm just going to cut this off at that mark. Okay, so I've got this now where the top of the book is and the bottom of the book. So that piece of paper is the same size as the book. I've got it in place. I'm just going to go back in here and find where I have marked the holes. And I'm just going to mark that on here. One there, there, and there. Now I only need one because when I put it inside the book, in the center, I can put that template in here at the top of the paper and the bottom of the paper, and I'll know this is where I will poke the holes. So what I find makes it easier if I go back to my little trusty clips, line that up and clip that on, and make sure that you are in with your pages are in nice and snug. And then I put one on this side, and then you don't have to mark it. You can just poke right where those marks are in the crease of your signatures. Once it goes through, it's good. So there's one. Make sure it's snug. Go to your crease and watch your fingers on that other side. Whew. I always thought it was going to come up higher. Good thing I moved those just in time. Ooh. And then here's the third one in the crease at that mark, and punch. All right, so there we go. There's the holes in that signature. Now I will just leave the clips on and go to the other signatures and do the same thing. Find the center. I'm going to leave these out for now because I'm not going to sew those in. I think I'm going to put them in on tabs, and then they will be secured that way. So again, make sure your pages are where you want them, nice and tight into that groove. Get your piece right in there, your template piece, and put a clip on it. Come down to the bottom, make sure that's snug in there, and put another clip on this side. Go back through with your pokey tool and poke. Find the crease. I always bend the book open or closed a bit so that I know I'm in the crease. And push. 1, 2, and bugger. That's tight. I don't know why. Maybe it's because there's 12 pages in each book. I don't know. It's a lot to punch through, although this is pretty sharp. little unit. Pretty good. But anyway, does the job with a little bit of work. So like I said, take that one off, and then I will do this last one. And then we will commence with sewing the signatures into here, into the book cover. Ta-da! Later we will go back and do more embellishments. That will be on the next video. So let me just finish getting this together, and I will sew one signature in and show you how I do it. Okay, oh, sorry about that. This is the one I'm going to put the envelope in the center, and I'm going to put it in this way. So I'm just going to open it up, put it in, and decide it a little higher or a little lower so that I can make sure that it gets included in this punch through the center. So I'm going to slip that behind, get it into the groove. So if you're doing like 5-hole signature, you're going to have a better chance of this staying in. Like if there's 2 more here, but I'm only going to go 3. So I'm just going to pull that down a little bit more to the bottom. And actually, let me check up the top. I'm thinking, what's the chances of more stuff going in? It's only one piece. It's really no big deal. But I think I'm going to just move it to the bottom. Oh my goodness sakes. Listen to me. Holy cow. All right, there we go. That's what I'm going to do right there. Okay, so I'm going to move it down to the bottom so that I'm sure that it's in the groove and in line with these marks on my template, and poke a hole through, go to the next one, poke a hole through, and then the top, and poke a hole through. I have to show you that one because I was doing it a little bit different by adding this piece. So then we can get rid of this piece. We don't need that anymore for anything. And then we sew. And I am going to use some binding twine and a large hole needle. And I'm just going to sew these in. And I start at get them in place, get them organized. Which one do you want where? Which one first? Which one second? So I'm going to just start with this one at the back, right? So measure your thread once. I go 2.5 because I like to be sure. I'd rather have too much than not enough. And then thread the needle. Oh, that worked out really good. I didn't know I could do that. Okay, so all I'm going to do is, like I said, oops, see, that got turned. So make sure the back is at the back. And then I'm going to open my book to the middle. Now, some people start at the top and then go to here, then go to here. I like to start in the middle. I don't know why, because then if I start, wherever you start is where your end strings are going to show. So if you want to put tassels on, dingle dangles, start at the top. So let's do that and put some dingle dangles. So bring the needle through, find the hole in your cover, and push it through. I'm keeping the clips on these pages just so that they stay together. Bring it through and then go down. Some people go to the bottom. I like to go into the middle next. But you do what you like. You do what you do. And come back up. Now the other trick is put a little clip or something on this tail so you don't lose it. And then pull those through. See that? It's getting real close right there. And you don't have to go all the way through. There's plenty of thread here, so let's leave that tail long. In fact, let's just clip it under the pages here. I think that's a little more secure than that. All right, so there we go, 1, 2. Then into the bottom hole. Sewing in signatures is so easy. Just make sure that you stay in line with the proper holes. So that goes out and up, and then get your thread, pull it taut, go back into the center hole, through your book to the center hole, and pull those up. Now we now have a shorter piece here, a longer piece here, so I can just even those out a bit by just pulling on this one and then pulling on that one. There we go. Make sure that they're fairly tight on the back. Snug them up. Snug them up. Because with the movement, they may come undone a bit. Now see, I can do that, tie that right there. So left over right, and right over left. And pull it down tight. Oops. This is where you always wish you had an extra thumb. Pull that tight. Left over right. See how it loosens? It's not easy with a band-aid on either, so I gotta give myself a break for that. So pull that tight. And there we go. This is that wax thread. So if you make a mistake and you need to undo your knot, just undo your knot and then just leave that. So that is number 1. Oh, I see I messed up here. How did that happen? Look at that. I totally didn't even notice that. So that's got to come out. So my camera keeps shutting off, so I'm not sure what you caught there, but sewed the envelope in. Pulled the threads back through the center, pulled them up here, did a reef knot at the top, and now we have 2 signatures sewn in to the book. We get the last one to do, which I'll do on my own. So I think the biggest thing is just watch carefully that you are putting your signatures in the right order, and that they're both right side or all up, right side up, so you don't end up sewing your signature in upside down. Just pay attention before you start to sew that the signatures are the way that you want them to be in the book. Back, center, middle, and then do the stitching. Holes are marked, so you can go through. Now I actually ended up going back and putting that last signature in again because I didn't like the way it was sitting, and I believe I went in from the top. So I think I'm gonna just keep it consistent and go in from the top on this one as well. And get your pages. Through you go. Save your pigtail. And you got that deal with all this paper now. I mean, flapping around here, all this book stuff. And if you've got ribbons and things, you'll have those too, but big deal. There you go. 1, 2, 3. Now, some people put little embellishments on here as well, which is kind of nice. The other thing you can do is just leave the signature stitching showing, like plain, or you can cover it up. So options, lots of options. So into the second center and through the signature, center hole, and pull it tight down to the bottom. We don't have an envelope to sew in. We're not going to sew these ones in because I didn't want to deconstruct that. So through this last bottom hole, through the last hole. So it I kind of lost the hole, so I'm going to go back and mark it again. Okay, through the signature, hole at the bottom. And, you know, maybe refrain from putting stuff like this on the front of your signatures because that's just adding more to your frustration. So I'm just yanking that off. And then pull tight. See that one in tight? Look how much I've got. Back through that third or center hole from the outside. And find your center. And through. Back through that hole. The other thing when you use thread like this, it doesn't split too easily, and you end up throwing your sewing your thread through your thread, because that can make it really tight to try and cinch up. So make sure everything's nice, pull it tight, pull tight, and take off your needle. Make sure those are like you want them. I don't want them, I kind of like them not even, but I can always uneven them later. So I don't worry about making sure that these little end strings are even, because it depends on what I end up putting on. I kind of usually like to put a little tab or something on there. So tight. Make your loop for your second reef knot loop tying. Tie that up, snug it up, make sure those are snug, and pull it down. Ta-da! Now, signatures are in right, upright, 1, 2, and 3. So, I think that's pretty good. Ended up pretty even. On the top, they're sewn in pretty much the same length, same height. So I'm pretty happy with what's going on here. So that will tie up like that. Now, because I would have preferred, actually, if I had thought through the closure business a little bit ahead of time, I probably would have preferred to put it on the back. So that would keep this pocket closed when the book is bound tight. So now I have to figure out what I'm going to do about that. It's always a problem, but there's always a solution, right? I mean, there always is, but we can't just have it like that because whatever's in there is going to fall out. So we got to figure out what we're going to do about that situation.